You're sitting in a classroom. The teacher is explaining something important, but half the room is not listening. Not because they're lazy, because something else is happening. Something quieter, something far more dangerous. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A study once found that the average student loses focus every 47 seconds. Not minutes, seconds. And every time attention breaks, it doesn't come back the same. It comes back weaker. Now imagine that over years. This isn't about distraction. It's about design. We like to believe students make conscious choices. I'll study. I'll focus. I'll succeed. But most decisions are not made in the moment. They are shaped long before the moment arrives, inside the environment, inside the system, inside the mind. And once you see the pattern, it's hard to unsee. Let's start with the first mechanism, delayed reward. A student studies today for an exam weeks away, for a degree years away, for a job that may or may not exist. The brain hates this. Neurologically, it's simple. The brain is wired to chase immediate reward. Dopamine spikes now, not later. So what wins? A phone notification, a short video, a quick laugh. Each one delivers a small, instant reward. The textbook offers none. So the brain learns something dangerous. Avoid effort, chase stimulation. And slowly, studying starts to feel unnatural. Now layer in the second mechanism, social comparison. Students are constantly watching each other. Grades, clothes, confidence, popularity. But here's the twist. They don't compare effort, they compare outcomes. So when one student succeeds easily, others don't see the hidden work. They see the result. And the brain translates that into a quiet belief. If it's not easy for me, maybe I'm not capable. This is how motivation dies, not loudly, but silently. Then comes the third mechanism, learned helplessness. It sounds dramatic, but it's common. A student tries, fails, tries again, fails again. At some point, the brain updates its model. Effort doesn't change outcome. And once that belief locks in, the student stops trying. Not because they're weak, because their brain is optimizing for emotional survival. Why invest energy if the return feels zero? Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. The system often rewards this behavior. Memorization over understanding, compliance over curiosity, speed over depth. Students learn how to pass, not how to think. And ironically, the ones who question the system the most often struggle inside it, because the system isn't built for thinkers, it's built for performers. Let's talk about attention again, because this is where everything connects. Every notification, every scroll, every quick hit of content trains the brain to expect constant stimulation. So when a student sits down to study, the silence feels wrong. The brain starts searching for reward, anything to fill the gap. This is why boredom feels painful, not neutral, painful. And once boredom becomes intolerable, deep work becomes almost impossible. But here's the irony. The same students who can't focus for 10 minutes on a book can focus for hours on a game. Why? Because games are engineered around feedback loops, clear goals, instant rewards, visible progress. Education removes most of these, so the brain disengages. Not because the student lacks ability, but because the system ignores how the brain actually works. Now let's reveal the hidden math. Small habits, repeated daily, compound silently. Lose 30 minutes of focus per day. That's 182 hours a year. Over 5 years, that's over 900 hours. That's not lost time, that's lost potential. And the scary part? Most students never notice it happening because the loss is invisible. It feels normal. At this point, you might think this is just about students. It's not. It's about what happens next. Students become professionals. Professionals carry the same patterns: short attention spans, low tolerance for delayed reward, dependence on constant stimulation. And suddenly, it's not an academic problem, it's an economic one. A workforce that struggles with deep thinking cannot compete in a world that demands it. So we're left with a strange contradiction. We tell students to focus while designing systems that destroy focus. We ask for discipline while surrounding them with distraction. We reward outcomes while ignoring the process. And then we act surprised when things don't work. The question isn't whether students are failing. The question is, are students adapting perfectly to a system that was never designed for how their minds actually work? And if that's true, then what exactly are we training them to become?